this is what we're making today. It's kind of a mix between the Barbie leather tote and the XOXO leather tote by Purses by Holly. So really, in order to make it, you need to buy her pattern, and my pattern is free, but her pattern is fabulous, so I wouldn't not do her pattern. I just did a magnetic snap, and I used double-sided leather. I did put a false bottom in, and she talks about that, but I added some serious stabilizer, so this baby sits up all by itself. I didn't add any feet, but it's leather on the inside, leather on the outside. I did one layer of the double-sided leather for the handles, and then I cut these strap connectors out. I did add a cell phone pocket, which is perfect. And then because it is double-sided leather, for my tag, I just put it on a piece of leather and added that before I put it on my tote. And then these are 2 little dome rivets, but I go into all that. This will be available on my website. I love this. If it doesn't sell, it'll be mine. Hi everyone, this is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs, and I'm getting ready to do the leather Barbie tote. So I'm going to film each part of it because when I did the live, you couldn't see the gluing process, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm using the Aquilium 315 glue. You'll see the finished product before this clip. And I always put something on my surface. This is the water-based cement, so it doesn't have the odor that the other does. So this is my false bottom, and it is, gosh, it is 12 by 5. Just shy of 5, 12 by 5. So I want this to be what you see when you look down into the bottom. So I'm going to put my glue on this side, and then I have this stiffener, leather stiffener that I am going to glue to this piece. So I put glue on both pieces. And then I will, once it dries a little bit, I will stitch it on too. Now this you do have to let get tacky, so you can't just put it on there and then stick it. So you have to give it at least 20 minutes to get a little tacky, sticky. Which, you know, it's not a big deal, but it's time consuming so it can't be really done on the live. I guess that's what I was trying to say. So you just paint it on there, and I use these little brushes that I got on Amazon. They're extremely cheap, and I just throw them away after I use them. There are a million other little things that you could use to add glue. Okay, so there's that one. Let's see what you can see. Now I'm going to put it on this one. Let me pull this over just a little. And do you really need to put it on both pieces? Probably not. But since I'm going to sell this tote, I don't want this coming apart, and it won't, even if I just put it on one. So I'm probably doing a little overkill here, but that's okay. These false bottoms really do make a difference on these leather. This is double-sided leather, so it won't be lined per se. There'll be leather on the inside. Because it's got double-sided leather. And I'm just using this white cloth. I just used this cloth to clean my iron, so I thought, you know what, before I throw it away, I'll just use it for my glue. Okay. Put your lid on as fast as you can. And we need to let that get tacky. So anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes and it'll get nice and tacky. All right. All right, so here is the tacky, and you can kind of tell that it's tacky. And this doesn't really matter. There's a little hair from my brush, but I'm going to get it off anyway. And I'm just going to put these two together. And you can pull them up if you don't get it just perfect. And that's all there is to it. Now that was probably, I let it get tacky for probably 30 minutes. And then on this side, I am going to mark in a 1/2 inch all the way around. And that'll be my stitch line. The glue will hold, but I think just having the stitches just a little extra. And it looks pretty. Okay. This goes down in the back, so you really don't see much of it, but, and I'm going to pull the threads to the back. Okay, there you have your false bottom. That's all there is to it. Let's wipe that off. The tiny bit, I'm just going to use a tiny bit of oil. Very tiny. You don't want to leave that leather marker on there. Okay. Perfect. There's your false bottom. Next step. All right, so I am going to do my straps next. And I can't give you the measurements for this because I'm doing the XOXO leather tote. I just increased it to be a little wider. That's it. So this is the XOXO leather tote by Purses by Holly. So I am not doing double-sided straps on this one. This is going to be the strap, just one side. So I'm just going to, and I'm trying to decide, I think I'll make this darker color my outside. Yeah. But I am going to, let me get rid of this stuff. I am going to do a little end on my, I have this punch that I haven't even used yet. So this is a little punch that is, I don't even know what they call it. Isn't that terrible? It's a pointed end punch. That's what it's called. Pointed end punch. And I am just going to do the ends because I'm not using any strap ends. So it's just going to be a raw edge. Okay. And this happens to be a 1 inch. So I'm just trying to get it on there nice and evenly. Let me grab my... Okay. Shouldn't take much, but here we go. Oh my gosh, I love it. That is going to be perfect. That's all I want. Just a little decoration, just not a straight edge. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. All right, there's one. Let's do this other one. This is a craft tool 1 inch. So there's the picture of it. Craft tool 1 inch. All right, next step. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm putting the rivets. I'm using my extra wide rivets. So I just need to put one. So I have those. I haven't punched those, but I'm just showing you what I'm doing. So I got one over there. And then this one, I just use a number 4 hole. Center it up, and there's going to be a little bit of noise. And you put your rivet on. And that's all there is to it. So let me go punch those, or press those. So the next thing I'm going to do, because I'm going to put a tag on, and I don't want my prongs to be showing on the inside, I am going to use a leather tag for this. And that way it'll be underneath here. And you won't see the prongs. Okay. Or you could sew on a tag. Either way works. I'm trying to decide. My outside is going to be the tan, so I think I'll make this. Oh yeah, that looks good, just like that. And I think I have it on there pretty even, so we'll see. I just hit my finger. You guys. Okay, now I am going to go ahead and just put a little piece of fleece on there. Probably don't need it, but I don't want those rubbing on my leather underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Perfect. Right now, I am going to sew that on. Let's decide where we're going to put it. I'm just going to find the center and just mark my center. On both top and bottom. Don't clip your center because at least on the top it'd be seen. The bottom it wouldn't. And I'm just going to put it, let's just say this is my top. I'm finding my mark there, and I'm going to put it 3 inches down, centered. You know what? I'm not going to center it because I don't know for sure that it'll look centered when I'm done. I know that sounds weird. So I'm going to put it 2 inches off center, 2.5 inches off center. That's what I'm going to do. 3 inches down. I'm going to put it right here. And let's get this mark off. Okay. So I'm just going to put it right there. Yeah. All right, let's get some tape. We'll tape that on and then we'll sew it on. So you will see the stitches on the inside for this. That's okay. Okay, let's make sure this is nice and even. And I could actually make this the bottom, but I'm not. I'm going to put it on the top. Okay, I'm thinking out loud, guys. Thinking as we go. Okay. Now I am going to have to put my narrow zipper foot on to stitch this. The oil really gets this off, so don't be afraid to use a little bit of oil on your leather. It really gets those leather marks off. Okay. All right, let me change my foot. All right, so I changed my mind and I put it down here on the bottom left. I didn't want it on top because it would get in the way of if I off-centered it, it would get in the way of my straps. So I decided to put it down here, and I think it looks better. So it's a little off-center. And I just used some dome number 7 rivets. So they're little tiny dome rivets. And you can't see them from the inside, but that's okay. It's pretty. All right, next step. Okay, so now we're going to do our strap connectors. And I use 3/4 inch D-rings. So I have my 3/4 inch D-ring on there. I just have some tape on the inside just to keep them together. Okay, and then I'm going to put a piece of tape on the back. And if there's a good or a bad side, I'm just looking to see. Doesn't really matter. It's all good. Then what I did, so I have 4 of those. On this front, I measured down. I measured from my center. Let me see. I think I measured 4 inches from center. Yep, 4 inches from center on each side. And then I measured down 1.5 inches and centered it up. And that's where the top of my strap is going to go. Centered. So just like that. And then we'll just make sure it's even. Yep. Perfect. and then we will sew it on. One, two, three. Okay, they're not even. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to come over just a little bit. You want to make sure they're even from the side. And you know what I think I'm going to do? I'm just going to come over 4 inches on each side. That way I'm sure that they're the same. Yeah, that's going to be better. Still 1.5 inches down, but 4 inches from each side. Yep, I feel better about that. Okay, so I'm going to ignore those marks. Oops, don't lose my little cap for my oil. Okay. Get your marks off. You don't want those ever to be seen. Okay, hold on. All right, I came in, just to recap, I came in 4 inches from each side and 1.5 inches down to the top. Now I'm going to stitch these on, and then I already marked for my rivets. You might not be able to see that, but I'm going to pull the thread to the back. Let's see, I think I'm going to do it this way so that I can get my skinny foot up here, this part of my skinny foot. So let's start right there. I'm going to get some of this out of the way. Noisy, sorry. Just go really slow. This is very visible. Now I'm going to go backwards a stitch or two. And then I'll turn and go forwards. Oops, that, did you see that? Yeah. Almost missed a stitch. Okay. And come back over. And I'm going to cut those because I'm going to pull those to the back. I don't want a knot on the front. Now you could backstitch. I would prefer, let me pull this too. To have the knot on the inside and no back stitching. Okay, let's see how it looks. Oh yeah, perfect. Trim these up, tie them off. Oh my goodness. All right, so then I'm going to go ahead and put my rivets, and I'm using my big rivets again. These, I think they're, I don't know if they're 15 millimeter, they might be, but I'm going to put 2 of them. So, and you just want to make, I marked these so they would be nice and even. As far as how far they're apart. Okay, some noise. So there are a lot of layers here, so there we go. And one more. Okay. That looks so good. Yeah. You know, if you're going to do leather, you're going to want to have some of these tools. All right, now I'm going to punch those in, and I have a hand punch for that. Okay. So I have this little hand punch that I use to set these rivets. Not really punch, set. Okay, so there's a little concave here. You don't want to pound on your table, that's for sure. Okay. So I pounded on this thing instead of my table. Those look good and very sturdy. Very sturdy. All right, let's do this other one, and I will do that on fast forward. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is add our pocket, and I'm going to put the pocket on the back because I put my tag on the front. So this is just a cell phone pocket, and I'm just going to do a faux line of stitching across the top. Get that light there again. And I did back stitch there. Never even be able to notice. And then I do have double side tape on the back, because this is going to be the front of the pocket. Now you could have put your tag here, but again, you don't want to see the prong, so I would have had to do the same thing. So that would have been fine. Okay. So now this, I just have 1/8 inch tape, which is, you know, my nemesis. Sometimes it comes off beautifully, and other times it just, you know, see, like today, it's perfect. Okay. Now I am centering it 1.25 inches up from the bottom, and I'm centering it between my 2 tags. My 2 strap connectors, I should say. Then I'm going to measure and make sure it's even on both sides. Needs to come over just a hair. Yeah. That's pretty good. All right, now let's just get it nice and even. Just double, triple check yourself. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Okay. Now we're going to stitch down the sides and across the bottom and up the other side. Just a simple cell phone pocket. I'm going to put rivets up here in the corner too. More rivets. Okay, burn your threads. And then let's add just a couple little rivets here. And I'm trying to decide what size rivets I want to use. I'm just going to use some regular rivets here. Alright, so make sure when you're adding rivets anywhere that you stay away from your thread. Because if you put a rivet through thread, it'll just decrease the integrity of the rivet, and then, the thread, and then it may unravel, which you do not want. So I'm just doing it in the corner. You'll see exactly where here in a second. These I can go use my press for. So there you go. When you have something that is double-sided like this, you're going to see all the things on the inside, but that's okay. It's just decorative. All right, so let me go press those. All right, so on this one, on the last one, I just left it as a false bottom where you could take it, put it in and take it out. I think this one I'm going to sew in. So I already did 1/2 inch around my false bottom with my stiffener on the back, glued on the back. And then for this one, I just marked 1/4 inch in all the way around, and I'm going to center that on my bottom. I did just put some double-sided tape just to keep it in place until I get it sewn. Okay, and I'm just going to center that on my bottom. Now you could mark it, I'm just eyeballing it. And then we're going to stitch on that 1/4 inch. Okay, so what I did is I have my front piece. So you can see my front piece. And I turned it wrong side up. And on the left side and the right side, I drew a line down the top to bottom. Just like she tells you to in the pattern. And then on this left side only, within that line, I put some Accordion 315 glue. My leather glue, cement glue. And I'm going to let that dry for 20 or 30 minutes. And then I'm going to come back and we'll do the next step. All right, so it's been about 30 minutes. So I'm going to take my back and lay it on that line where all that glue is, all the way up. And then I'm going to let that sit for a minute. I'm going to clip this side right here. And I'm going to let that sit for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to put 2 rows of stitching all the way down. And then I'm going to repeat that. I'm going to put glue here on this side where the line is, over here, which you can't even see, right here. Let that sit for 20-30 minutes, and then I'll put these 2 together, and that will create the front and the back. It's a beautiful thing. Next step. All right, let's do 2 rows of stitches, and I'm going to do it, it's kind of a challenge, from the right side. Okay. So I'm going to do a 1/4 inch. All the way down. Once you get this first row in, it's much easier. Okay. So now it stays together. It's a beautiful thing. And then we're going to do an 1/8 inch from that. Okay, perfect. So that's what that looks like. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. And it looks great on the inside. Now it's glued, so even though it's not way on the edge here, it's going to stay because it's glued. All right, so where's my line? All right, so we're going to do this side with tape. And I'm using a little stronger tape from Right. It doesn't tear. It's pretty strong. So I'm doing it just so you guys can see that you could use tape if you wanted to. I wouldn't recommend it, especially if you're using leather. Okay. And now we're just going to sew on the inside. Just like we did on the other side. And I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm going to go the bottom up. Quarter inch. Just go slow. Readjust as you need to. Okay. And then we're going to do another row of stitches. One more row. Perfect. So tape is an okay option. I still, if you're using leather, would use cement. I just did it on this one so you could see if you're going to do vinyl, which she doesn't recommend for this bag. She recommends only leather. Okay. Beautiful. So pretty. So there's what it looks like on the inside. Let me turn you so you can see. See that top stitching right there? So that is on both sides. And let's just turn it so we can see. This is going to be so pretty. So there you have, each side has 2 rows of top stitching. So there's the front, and then these become the sides. Yeah, you know what? I've changed my mind on this. I'm gonna go on Thor and do just 2 rows of stitching there. I might be able to do it here. Let me see. No, I'm going to do it on Thor. I don't like this being up a little bit, so I'm going to do a row here and a row here on Thor. It'd just be easier on Thor. Okay, so a couple things I did. I sewed just the straight edges on my tag. That way it doesn't... You can't see underneath it. I didn't like that. So I just did a straight stitch on each side. And then I did add a magnetic snap. Just one magnetic snap centered. Okay. And then I did find the center of my bottom. The center of the sides is going to be the seam. So I'm not worried about that. And then on my bottom piece, I found the center on both long edges, and I cut my little piece out as directed in the XOXO pattern on all 4 corners. Okay, so now take your bottom piece, and we're going to put right sides together, matching our centers on the long side. Find your centers. Okay, and I'm going to use my little sturdy clips here. Trying to find my centers. You could notch these if you felt more comfortable with that, because this is going to be in a seam. But it will be seen at the bottom. Okay, we're going to sew that together with the seam allowance in the pattern. So this is wrong side out, just FYI, I turned it wrong side out. And we're going to start and stop at our notches there. There we go. Okay, here we go. I got a little off down here, so I'm gonna just go back over that. I don't like that. There we go. No one will ever know. Perfect. And I would take the time to kind of burn your threads now, so you don't have to go back in there and burn your threads. Just my 2 cents. Okay. Now we're going to repeat that with the other side. Find your centers. Hard for me to see. A little bit slippery, so just use as many clips as you feel you need to. Okay. This is going to be so nice. I might have to keep it for myself. Okay. Start at your knot, your little notch, and this wants to go, there we go. There we go. Ooh. And stop at your little notch. Okay. Now, we're going to make a little clip into our main piece. Oops. I'm just looking to make sure. Yeah. So let me do them and then I'll show you. So you're clipping into your main front and back. So let me show you. Right here. Don't go past your stitches on all 4 sides. Then we're going to sew up the ends. Okay. You need to have a really sharp pair of scissors. And it matches perfectly. And we're going to sew across the short end. Yeah, let's see what you can see. Sorry guys. It's a big bag. Same seam allowance. Okay. Perfect. Let's do this one. This double-sided leather is a little thicker and heavier than this first double-sided leather I did. It just, interestingly enough, I like it. I like them both, but it's just a little bit thicker. And my fabricator has no issue with it whatsoever. None. Okay, let's go back up here. Let's clean this all up. And then we're going to turn it right side out. Okay. Oh my gosh. Can you hear that bottom? It's going to be fabulous. Now this is going to be a little challenging to turn, and that's okay. Maybe not. I maybe spoke too soon. No. I did not put purse feet in. I did not. I decided not to. You could though. Oh my gosh, you guys. Stunning. I'm just making sure I have all my corners pushed out really good. Oh my gosh, I love it. Now I will overnight do a little training, and when I say that, what I'll do is put these on here and just leave them on overnight so that it kind of trains that side but let's put our handles on because we're done. Now, I did think about doing just a row of top stitching because the top is going to be left raw. So I think I will. Let's go do that on Thor. Let's just do one row of top stitching on Thor. Let's do it. Okay, guys. This is going to be so gorgeous. So I'm just going to do a row of top stitching. So this is my front. I'm going to start on the side back here. I might do 2 rows. Let's see. Let me get rid of my table. Okay. Let me see what you can see. All right, here we go. So I'm doing 1 1/8. I might do another one at 1/4. I'll see. I haven't decided. This is kind of just like faux top stitching. Don't get too cocky, Barb. Don't get too cocky. You go too fast. Yeah, I'm just going to do 1 row. And I'm going to pull those to the inside when I get there, so there's no back stitching. Although you could, but I don't like back stitching if I can help it. Yeah. All right. Let's pull these to the inside. Find it. There it is. There we go. It's hard to see it. No, that's not it. There we go. Okay. Beautiful. Now, very important to even these up because we want a pretty decent knot. So let's tie it off. Okay. Perfect. Oh my gosh, you can't even see where I started and stopped. All right. Let's add our handles. Oh my gosh, you guys. Very pretty. Snap. Alright. Here's the back with the cell phone pocket. Here's the front with the tag, and here's your straps. And I'll stand up, put it on. Absolutely gorgeous, you guys. Look at that top stitching. And look at the bottom. Now, like I said, I will train these seams to stay flat just overnight. But, oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. And then there are no pockets on the inside. It's a tote. It's a leather tote. So that's what you see on the inside. You do see the seam, but it doesn't matter. It's got a false bottom, so it stands up all by itself perfectly. Let me switch to the other camera. Hold on. Yeah, let me come over there. You can see a little bit easier over here. I'm going to make another one right away. I do like the false stitching on the top. This is all raw edge. I'm not edge coating it. This is high quality leather. It does not need to be edge coated. I'm not doing it. It doesn't need it. I wouldn't do it even for myself. It's stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. So here, let me pull it down so you can see. Do you see the bottom? How gorgeous that looks. And so to train it, I will clip it here overnight and it'll help train it. The leather XOXO tote with a few modifications. Number one, I made it a little wider. The height is the same. The width is an inch, so it's an inch wider and an inch deeper. And then I just added these connectors, and I skipped the lacing. That's all really, basically, I did. It's kind of a combination of the XOXO leather tote by Purses by Holly and the Barbie leather wallet. So in order to make this, you'd really need to purchase the XOXO leather tote by Purses by Holly, because the directions minus that front lacing are really the same. I just increased it by an inch. I might have to keep it. I'll make myself another one. Double-sided leather, so it's leather on the outside, leather on the inside. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure you give a thumbs up and like and comment. I appreciate you guys. Have a great night. Bye-bye. Okay, so I'm going to make a mega accordion wallet to match with this double-sided leather. The difference with this is obviously you don't need any lining because it's leather on both sides. However, depending on the thickness, you may need to add an extra piece of leather under your accordion, which I am going to do, just to give it a little more something to bite into. So other than that, how you make it is exactly the same. Let me mark my centers. The other difference is you will only cut your piece the size of your accordion. So this piece only is cut the same height, but the width is 7.5 for your accordion. Okay, so that's different than what's in the pattern. Let me turn this down just a little. Is that better? Yeah, that's better. So the first thing I'm going to do is mark for my hole and cut that out. And what that ends up doing to this piece is making it two pieces, and that's okay. Because once I put that on there, it'll cut that piece in half, which is fine. So I think I'm gonna just cut that first, and then we'll cut the other piece. Looks like a little heart. I'm just going to cut that off. Okay, let's just see how it looks before I move further. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to take this piece, and I'm actually just going to cut it the width that I need it outside of that hole. Okay. Then I'm going to put some tape on here. And I'm just taping them because it'll end up being stitched and screwed on. Okay, let's just add that right at the top. Same here. Okay, now that we did that, let's just make sure that our piece still fits and it all looks good. Oh my. The thing is, you just really do not want to see that. You don't want to see that through or underneath here. So you have to make it just a little bit smaller, and I just made it about 1/4 inch. Okay, so now this one on this other side, I'm going to add as well. And then we're going to stitch those on. So a double-sided leather accordion wallet. I love it. Again, let's just make sure that works and that you can't see it before you stitch it on. See, now you can see that just a little. So I'm going to trim it. It's right here that you can see it. I'm going to take that off and trim it. Okay, hold on. All right. So I've got my pieces taped, and we're going to do the accordion next. And I'm going to do this on Thor. These bigger accordions are easier to do over here. They're perfectly fine on a flatbed. I have just found it's easier on my friend Thor. So we are going to do it over here. So the reason I'm doing this is because this goes obviously with, oh, and I forgot to do across the top. Let me do that first. I think I need to change his needle. I need to change Thor's needle. Okay, let's do this other side. I taped that extra piece on, but I just wanted to stitch it on too. Okay. All right. Now let's do the stitching. And I'm still doing just one side at a time, even over here on Thor. Again, it is a smart thing to do with this bigger accordion. I'm gonna still put some clips too. Okay, let's do it. Okay, then we'll attach the other side. All right, let's put this other side on, then we'll clean it up. Okay. So much easier. Alright, one more side. Okay. Hold your threads. I can't believe how much easier this is. So if you have a cylinder, definitely do these bigger ones over here. All right, let's clean this up. All right, let's do it. Let's grab some leather glue. Okay. Screw holes on the inside. Perfect. Get your little tiny little screws. Okay, put the other side on. Screw holes on the inside. Perfect. Almost dropped one. few more. Tighten them up. Perfect. Take the plastic off your first clasp. Kind of hard to do things with a little band-aid on. That was not a sewing related accident. All right. Matching to the tote. Push that inside. Guys, so nice. There it is. The matching accordion wallet. Mega. This will come as a set. Double-sided leather. Beautiful. Just beautiful. There we go. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. Bye-bye.